Holistic Healing of Anxiety. Part 1. Hello everyone. So today, I want to talk about how to heal anxiety holistically. First, I want to share with you my thoughts on what fear is. So you have anxiety as a symptom of an underlying imbalance. Whether in our body or mind, fear is a symptom of an imbalance in body or mind. Or the inequality is in a combination of the two for a long time. Especially for our psychological or mental well-being, given anxiety, depression, everything that is psychological was thought to be a little bit only in the brain. That is unfair. We understand that we are a whole person, which means an interconnected relationship between our mind, brain and body. So if we want to heal holistically, we need to think about both. So 5 tips for healing anxiety holistically. This one appeals to me because those of you who have been following me for a while and have read my story know that I am someone who has had chronic anxiety for a lifetime. So it was an important task to be able to heal from that holistically. I've had my share of nightmares, hyperventilation, and panic attacks. It wasn't until I changed my lifestyle and incorporated these 5 points that I'm going to share with you today that I could genuinely heal at the deepest level. And honestly, at this point, I wouldn't even describe myself as someone who suffers from anxiety, which is unbelievable. So what have I done to heal holistically? The first thing that was important to me was to make a necessary shift in my diet. My belief about nutrition is that certain foods are more likely to prevent sleep. In general, I don't think there is a one-size-fits-all model for whether it's diet or nutrition plan, whatever we want to call it, for what works for everyone. I don't believe in that. You have to test it on yourself, what increases your stress and when you become calmer with certain foods. I think what's more likely or realistic is that we need to learn to communicate with our bodies. That we ask and know, because I think everybody knows what it wants. Whatever it needs, no matter how much. Recognize, however, that there are great, eye-catching foods that many of us eat. A lot of that we know for sure are damaging our gut right now. What happens when our intestines are damaged? There can be so many hormonal, physiological imbalances, and emotional due to anxiety, with increased stress being one of them. So the big problem foods I suggest we try to minimize, at least if it's not eliminated from our diet. This big problem is for every person: gluten, sugar and everything processed enormously, such as processed food. So when you read, if you have foods with labels, make sure you read those labels. If you can't identify or imagine where that item or ingredient came from, or can't even tell it was probably lab-made, then it's something you will want to stay away from for your health. Unhealthy food causes an imbalance in both mind and body. Another big problem area for these processed foods is restaurants. So those of you dining out, be careful. I would have avoided the fried food in any case. Restaurant soils are hugely processed and problematic, so gluten is the sugars and the process. The more we can limit it, the more we let our gut heal naturally. That could go a long way in balancing your body, balancing your hormones, and resolving some, if not all, of those anxiety symptoms. The excitement, the restlessness, the quick thoughts, the brain fog all need to be balanced. This fog can change a lot if you watch what you eat. Also, watch what you don't eat. Every small change will bring along change. Breathwork helps to heal holistically. This breathwork is such an effective means of achieving a significant anxiety reduction. Why is breathwork so important? I do it every morning. It's so important. As you know, we have the nervous system. One of these is called the sympathetic nervous system. That nervous system is also known as the hunter and flight response. Some of you have heard that word. The other is called the parasympathetic nervous system, otherwise known as the rest and digestion. The problem with fear is that most of us who are anxious are chronically activated by that sympathetic nervous system, that fight and flight response that has chemical consequences. We have cortisol, the stress hormone that doesn't mix well with anxiety, adrenaline flowing through our body, we feel tense. It just makes us more anxious. The way those nervous systems work is like the brake and throttle in a car, meaning when one is on one, the other is off. So if we're in a regular combat flight, it means our parasympathetic nervous system isn't on. Then it is not used as it could or should be. Breathwork is our key to activating that manual parasympathetic nervous system. So, I wrote some articles about breathwork. You can take a look at how to do it. If I were to ask you to put one hand on your chest and one hand on your stomach, your belly and, of course, breathe, the hand that would move is probably the hand on your chest. That's fine. Most of us are chest breathers. The breath we're looking for, the one that activates the parasympathetic nervous system, is that deep abdominal breath. So practicing deep abdominal breathing will feel weird at first. When I was starting, I had to teach my body to breathe from this deep belly. I couldn't do it if I were having a hard time. Many people I work with have success by lying down in the beginning. But all it takes is a hand on your stomach and just being super aware of whether you want to breathe out of your nose or out of your mouth. Or whatever is most comfortable for you, to make sure we direct that breath down there to that belly. Every time we do that, we activate that parasympathetic nervous system. Many people I've suggested to start with this exercise will feel the difference almost immediately. They will report, "I feel calmer. The body feels calmer." So to use this, as I always say, it's essential to do it consistently. Just make it a habit to give yourself 1 or 2 deep belly breaths every day. Another great way to use this. When you start to feel your anxiety, your stress increases in those moments immediately. At this point, we may even notice that we go to our abdomen with the right hand and then, as usual, take a deep breath there. 1 or 2 of the ones you know can be an essential step to chill out. If you have a scary encounter, give it a try. Take a free subscription on our channel and go to the next part. Thank you.